Now how do you feel?
A little tired, actually.
November 30th.
It's 5 o'clock in the morning, and we haven't slept hardly.
Are you nervous?
I was nervous 2 days ago. Got it over with.
Yeah. It's like when you do a concert.
Yeah, just stage
You're
fright.
nervous for 2 days, and then you get on the stage, it's gone.
It's gone. Yeah. Yeah. Reminds me of the times we've done it before. The flight from Saskatoon to Toronto took close to 3 hours. Now we get to see something. Taking off from Toronto was delayed by around an hour due to de-icing of the plane. The 8-hour flight was very peaceful. Lima, Peru. Front seat 18A. Hola. Estela, este es Ana María. Very different here. Look at the yellow buildings. This is the middle of town of Lima, with the government building right here. This is a kind of a park in the middle. With an old church building right here. An interesting mix of old and new. This hotel in downtown Lima has its own mini zoo.
Correct.
A movie star.
Esto ya está con gracias, profe, solamente. Vaya pues, sácalo ya, profe. Gracias, profe. ¿Qué, profe? Ya, profe. Ahí está, lo está filmando. Ari, la cuenta dice.
Ya.
We just left the government office, which Estela needed to visit regarding the upcoming trip to Chile. Transporting minors is highly restricted and official documentation is required at all times down here. What the heck? They tell me that this band exits the government building noon every day. This bus is part of the Barranca bus line. They tell me that there is a bus leaving here every 10 minutes to go to Barranca, which is nearly 4 hours away. And it only costs 15 soles per person, which is equivalent to $6 roughly Canadian.
There's not much room for a bus to turn here. Wow.
Olvídalo, Marcus. Podemos hacerlo solos. Escucha, lo que tenemos que hacer es... No. Nosotros. Kevin, aquí no hay nosotros. Jamás hemos ido. Porque has sido tú. Se te ocurre una idea estúpida y soy tan imbécil para ayudarte. ¿Qué era lo que querías hacer? No sé. Es algo que me hace sentir mejor. Que siempre se queda con más. Diga. Gracias.
The roof appears to all be made of bamboo.
Hola.
Hey,
Ay, mira.
in inglés. Hi.
Ajá. Hola.
Hola. ¿Qué tienes tú? ¿Qué tiene?
¿Cómo se llama?
¿Qué sé?
Culebra.
Culebra. Sí.
Fue a real. Ay, me lo hubiera botado.
Estela's parents, Pompeo and Lorenza, live in Petivilca, the town next to Barranca.
Se pega así, la senta. Caballito de esta caballito.
¿Cuántos son de brazo?
Y después le hace ya otra madre. Caballo. Después último, burro.
¿Por qué vas a mano?
Se cansó de la pierna, la pierna la tenía así porque me tenía loco.
No seas malcriado. ¿Para qué?
Ay, no.
Qué malcriado. Mira, se está tomando el fuego. Ya.
Gracias.
De pronto, se ha venido Shinti también, mira qué mal la gente, piensa que no le iba a pagar. Ay, bueno.
Their garden plots are in the river valley just outside of their town. This is so different. We're stopping for lunch.
¿Ese es el caldito?
No se echaron. A little bit of a makeshift shelter. I'm not sure who made it, but it's just sitting here. We just spent maybe a couple hours just harvesting some ripe beans. And what's funny is that they thought they thought it was curious for me to eat green beans, because up in Canada that's all we eat is green beans, and down here they don't eat green beans, they eat dry beans, right, and cooked and all that stuff. And the lady comes up to me and she says, "Oh, isn't it gonna hurt your stomach?" And I says, "Oh no, in Canada we have strong stomachs." And they laughed.
Para lavarse, washing. Clear. ¿Sí?
Hola. Chiquita. Hey, pescado en agua. There's fish, mini fish, minnows. In this water. And all it is just a little drainage or an irrigation canal. See? Look at that. That's all it is. It's all part of a big river basin that once upon a time drained a lot of water. Back in the old days, before it became dry. Yeah, this would have been a big drainage for a lot of water at one time, just like in Saskatchewan. In the days of the deluge. This is another field. I'm not sure. It doesn't seem to be cultivated at this point in time. It seems to be in fallow or something. A little section, a little parcel, surrounded by a rocky fence. And this is the parcel that Estela has seeded, rented and seeded to corn. Right now there's some corn that's quite stunted for some reason, maybe a lack of moisture, who knows, some reason or other. And then some of it is tall for some reason. And a few banana plants on the edge there, just for decoration. Here, I'll zoom in on that. Yeah, bananas. She's insisting that I sit down because I just threw up. I threw up likely because of all the combination of everything that happened so far. What I've eaten, drank, activities, you name it. It's all combined to, my stomach couldn't handle it. And I just threw up. We cannot open this door without the key because it's been locked. Right. Dividing conquer. It's absolute. Desayuno Hugos. Desayuno.
Arreglar esto. Pase nomás, disculpa.
¿Qué es una caja? Ya.
Estela, buenas.
Está con el sueño.
Ahí está gringo, está firmando. Espera, firmando.
Falta. ¿Tienes madura? Sí. ¿Maduras tienes? Sí.
¿Estás sentado ahí? ¿Por qué no vas tú?
¿Está bien esto? Esta mañana.
Ah, no está firmando. No hagas eso, por favor. Hola, papá, mire, pues no están firmando. Espérate. Ve, párate. No estás tomando así feo, mira, ve. Estás que te revuelca.
A ver, yo voy a ver.
Ahorita regreso.
90.
No, ¿dónde qué?
Diferente. Allá, a ver, toma.
Esta es la ciudad de Pativilca. El viaje de padres de Estela. Apa dah? Habis.
No. Ya, vamos. Te voto. Ah.
Hola. Oh, popo. Look.
Papaya.
Papaya. En Fiji, popo.
¿Sí?
Sí. And in...
Pupo le decimos el ombligo de acá, pupo. En quechua.
Oh, sí. En quechua, pupo.
Ajá.
Oh, there you go. Fiji, pupo.
Un bello, ma.
Un peo.
Popeo.
Estamos trayendo invitados. Adelantado.
Lucia's and Fabricio's other grandparents.
Invitado su tía.
Hola.
Esa abuelita, esa abuelita.
A varios. A sus amiguitos. Cuenta, ¿quién lo ha dicho?
Giovanna, the kid's mom on Facebook, chatting from Santiago, Chile.
Bastante.
¿Pero a quiénes? Menciónalas a quiénes.
Fabricio's birthday party.
Dale leche nomás, ¿qué comes leche?
Oye, si no se puede con llora, hijo.
Ah, no, pues está bien, pues.
Yo
Ahí te decidí.
vengan a estar en una campaña. Ganas de tomar. Así, así.
That's where we just had our teeth cleaned. In downtown Barranca. Where do you want to go now?
Vamos a comprar fresa.
Walk? Caminar. You often see peddlers approach people in restaurants. I'll catch up to you.
Buenos días, señor. Buenos días.
Ah, río. Canal.
Por acá más.
Por ahí podemos bajar.
Ingreso peatonal. There are some ruins way across the river. Where are they? Right there, eh?
¿Tú coquita? ¿Cómo se llama la esposa de Gallina? ¿De Yugo Gallina? La que ha venido ayer.
Yeah, right across the river. This is all part of a community called Corral. It's a tourist attraction because there are some ruins here. Ancient ruins of a civilization. And the river is very seasonal. There's no river, there's no water running now, but there has to have been some recent running because I look at the rocks and they're basically clean. So there was water running here not too long ago. One thing I noticed is how tall and how steep the mountains are. Though they're made out of sandstone, there's extremely little erosion with the lack of rain in this part of the world. If there had been a lot of rain, these mountains would not be here. They would have all been flattened a long time ago. But because of the dry climate, these mountains are relatively intact since they were created. And according to Velikovsky, of course, it was quite recent. Within the last 4,000 years. Well, since the Great Flood, anyway, of Noah.
Podían concentrar en esta parte, así como el se paraba y los rituales se practicaban dentro, para que con el sonido que emite el aire, para que puedan escuchar las personas, tanto la danza como la música, ¿no? Ahora en la actualidad es al contrario, pues, ¿no? Cuando uno hace una actividad, se pone un estrado en la parte alta y observamos en la parte baja, que tenemos la facilidad me gusta, se pueden tomar las fotos en este lugar, no sé. Sí, en la parte alta, acomodados como un adorno. Vamos a poner la escalera. ¿Vale? Claro, no, en la parte alta. Toma. Si están acá así inclinados, se toman para que se vea mejor la...
Bananas. Plátano. Plátano. Plátanos.
Malo es, no me tomas ahí. No me gusta salir en video, ni las fotos.
This is just a little a little outlet that I installed the other day. That's how they sell them here. Everything is surface. They're like extension cords. That's all they are. With little wires inside. Puny. Small gauge wires. Not meant for a lot of power. Sure it's 220, but the wire is so small that it's not a lot of power. And the electrical service is so small that when this washing machine kicks in and out, and it does, it just the motor kicks in and out, you can see the light dim a little bit every time it does that. And when this kettle kicks in, which is only 10 amps, it really dims the lights in this place. Okay, this is the main electrical service wire right here. Looks like a 14 gauge wire. If it's a 12 gauge, I'd be surprised. And this service entrance is just a breaker, just a simple breaker, which is, who knows, I can't tell because it's all dirty, whether it's a 20 amp or a 15 amp or what, I don't know. It's all dirty. So. But in any case, it doesn't matter what it's set at. These wires are so small that I would be hard-pressed to have 20 amps total in this system. And that water heater that Estela wanted to install was a minimum 20 amp draw by itself. The kind that you put on a shower head. It's actually a shower head, heated shower head, with 3 settings, 20, 25, and 30 amp at 240 volts. So, and these are the kind of outlets that they have. It's all surface mounting. And the light switch, the same thing. It's all surface mounting. Because that's how they build their houses here, right? Very little in-wall electrical or anything. It's mostly brick. What they do is they build houses out of brick and then they cover the walls with a layer of plaster or cement or something smooth to make it look nice. It makes me think of adobe houses in Mexico and whatnot. Very similar idea for dry climates. And right now it's cloudy. It's a haze. Apparently it's like this every morning here. It's a haze. And then it clears up later in the day with sunshine. But the sun, for some reason, doesn't feel hot here, even when it does come out. It's much nicer anyway. And this is how she dries her clothes, which is of course logical. Yeah. Today is special. We're going to Lima.
¿Y cuánto plata he gastado en ti cuando estabas enfermo? No estaba ya durmiendo en el piso del Rosetta,
They do have the rare combine here. Chicken barns.
Hare Krishna. Look at that.
That's the Canadian Embassy. Yep, and it looks like Canadian Embassy-like, government-like. Yep. A blend of Peruvian and Canadian architecture. We were in Lima at the time, and during the day I fell ill with a fever, and on my mind we were going to Chile shortly, in a few days, so I had to know whether I was supposed to go or not, and decided to go to the hospital. Had me checked out, gave me some fluids and a prescription, and discharged me. And that was it. Went back to the hotel to rest and see what there was to happen. We are at North Central Bus Depot.
just past the Chilean border. We spent a lot of time at both border patrols. It seems that we had to get searched at both border patrols, Peruvian and Chile. Don't know why. It's not like Canada, US. There. And more. I don't know, more diligent. I don't know what they're looking for. And because I forgot my little piece of paper, I didn't think I needed it. Really, I didn't forget it. I just didn't bring it. I didn't think I needed it. My entry when I came into Peru, they gave me a little piece of paper to fill out and stamped it and all that. Apparently, I needed it to exit Peru as well. So what they did is they asked me to. They just made a duplicate. It cost me 9 soles, which is a very small price to pay. No big deal. At least now I know. The soundtrack of Celine Dion. Here we are in closer to Santiago somewhere. I'm not sure where we are. We recently stopped for a rest stop. I should say the bus stopped for a cleanup. Refueling and all that. Now we're continuing on our way down the coast of Chile. Notice it is very rocky here. And there's actually some greenery growing, clumps of, I'm not sure what it is, some kind of weeds, some kind of plants growing on the sand here. So you have to assume that there's more moisture here than further north, because there's nothing that grows up north. Another thing too is I've noticed some little houses built out of wood here. So even that has wood. But I guess somehow they have access to wood here like they do not have in Peru. Everything in Peru is in brick. There's a sea village made out of wood here. Wow. It's all made out of wood here. Wow. No bricks. No bricks. Incredible. Oh, and we're following a truck full of scrap iron. Boy, it looks so familiar. Looking more and more like Canada. By the way, the movie, I forget what it's called. Bruce Almighty, and then there was Steve Almighty, whatever. It's about the modern day Noah's Ark story with Steve Carell. Anyways, it's interesting that to be playing right now. That a lot of these little plants they have here are all planted by men because they're all in rows. They must have had a massive plantation program at one time. At least down in the lower parts. Up in the higher parts I don't see it, but down in the lower parts I see a lot of rows. Planted in rows. Got more windmills here. I'm surprised they don't have more than that. The whole coastline of Chile. Guaranteed source. rain down here than they do up north. A lot more calm down up there. See the ocean from here. Reservoir. First one, let's see. We just went through a tunnel, shortening the route, but there's a toll, of course, for those who take the tunnel. Mountains here are tall. Darn tall. They're a lot like BC, Alberta. The only difference is there's no snow on them. I guess we're on the outskirts of Santiago right now. We're almost there. One continuous city, I guess, for a while. A lot like Lima.
¿Qué es esa? La tapa de abajo. Pero lo pega. Ajá, ahora lo pegamos. Esto para que bonito, portavino, pues. Este está más loco, este va a querer la Este está bonito también, pues.
Esta relata para que vaya a comprar su vino.
No voy a llevar los precios que coja la jefa, para ver si es que quiere.
Esta no es para vender. Ya, pero ¿qué es esto? Para poner en la pared. Va a salir.
Estela makes art pieces and her sisters volunteer to market them locally here in Santiago.
¿Quién? Toda me hablas. Mi cuñada.
Cuñada.
Hola.
Hola, cuñada.
Ese que sí, todo para vender, para poner en la pared.
Quite a few grapes growing there.
Salta ahí. Salta. Sí. Ay, cuidado. Ese, si tú topas ese verde, te mata. No te mata.
Girls busy at work in the kitchen. This is a video game. this. Oh, just this. Oh. Look at that. It looks so real, eh?
A ver, vamos a ver la colita. Si no la mueve, la tiene tapadito. Bebechi. ¿Qué, mi amor? No. Baby, te susurras, mi amor. Chocolate.
And of course, there's a little Christmas tree and a bigger Christmas tree. Yeah, it's a nativity scene. Cumpleaños en la cocina.
En la cocina,
En la cocina. Today we're comparing prices on bus tickets back to Peru.
Cuando no hay nada ya, está vacío ya.
No puedes pasar.
This city is Santiago. A fairly economically advanced city. Things are still a little bit different here, but generally very similar to any major city in Canada and US, I would think. It's kind of like a more like a European city, I would think. Oh, another statue on top of a hill. Oops, sorry.
Ya, listo.
Estela, and we're at the corner of 11 de septiembre and Première. This is where you will find the Scotia Bank, and right over here is the building in which we applied for the visa. That red brick building right here. Isn't it interesting that The visa office for the Canadian Embassy is right next to Scotia Bank. Coincidence?
Oh, does it smell good? Oh, delicioso.
Ivana, Estela's sister, is expecting, so they are having a prenatal baby shower tonight.
Hola Luis. Hola Eugenio. Toma ahí, recuerdo toda la familia de la...
Familia de tus amigas.
Sí, de amigas. La mayoría son familias.
Estela, Enzo, her son, Eugenia, her sister, and I are visiting a historic citadel downtown called Santa Lucia. Some olive trees here. There's one right there. Another one there, another one over there. Going right in the rock. That is cute, eh?
Te cae la cabeza.
We're looking down the hill towards the street. What do I see in the distance?
Torre Mirador, ermita. This is the bus depot. Just before leaving Santiago, we're checking our bags. After my episode in Lima at the hospital, the next day we were supposed to get a prescription. We were in Barranca and we went to the pharmacy, and I was pretty well fixated on one particular idea. I wanted to use my emergency health card to see if I can get them to cover my prescription. But they automatically did not because it was not on their list, so I had to phone the insurance company to see if they would cover it or what. So
After several attempts at phoning that insurance company, free of charge, so to speak, I found out that it wasn't free of charge because I needed to pay the public telephone service just to make a phone call, never mind long distance. When I finally made it through, they put me on hold. And I thought, how many hours would I be on hold? And I thought, it would be a lot cheaper for me to purchase the prescription without having to deal with the insurance company. So I shelved the whole idea. Then I went outside, sat down, and thought. Dad had recently told me something very important. Just a couple of days before, he had told me about his decision to stay away from hospitals when it comes to sickness, and that he was not going to trust in the medical business to deal with sickness. Accidents is one thing, but sickness is another. And I had thought about that, and I also thought about all the years previous on that subject. I was in a little bit of a quandary, and I thought. Estela was there sitting next to me, and I told her, just wait, I'm thinking. Because I know she was more concerned for me than I was. And after a few minutes of thinking and meditating and talking to God, I says, God, I'm not going to get this prescription. I don't care if we're going to Chile soon. If you can't make me well, then that means you want me to stay here, and I'm not going to fight that. After all these years, I got to take you seriously. And believe it or not, that same day I started to feel better. In fact, I felt really good on our trip to Chile, and the whole time we were there, I felt really good. It wasn't until we were back in Peru that I started to feel a bit of motion sickness again.